Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, Season 3, Episode 3, The Holocrons of Fate. I'm your host, Cleo, and with me I have John.
Hello.
And Sam. And Sam's back moving with us, yay!
Yay!
We thought you would be frozen. We thought you would be in Carbonite this episode, but no. Good.
That'd be fun.
Back.
Brought it right back to Star Wars. Nicely done.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I'm good like that.
I see what you did there.
So we started this episode off with the Rebel ship destroyed, and it was just bait. It was bait to get the, Maul to get on the Ghost. And I like that they kind of tried to throw you off. It was the Red Blade! And Kanan thought it was an Inquisitor. And lol, no.
Oh, they should have known better. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew better because they've been teasing it this whole freaking time.
Yeah, they've been teasing it since Star Wars Day in the summer. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew. But
yeah.
But Kanan did not see that one coming. Well, he's blind, so.
He doesn't see much coming anymore. Dear, that was very insensitive of you.
I'm sorry. I realized after I said it.
Uh-huh.
Maul's crazy, and I think he's getting crazier, and I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. I really like him, though. I like Maul. I'm like, dude, I feel for you, bruh. I get you.
Most of the time, I'm just like, old-timey shake my fist at you.
I feel it, too.
It's just he made it weird with Hera, and I wasn't cool with that.
Yeah, he did the mind shit on Hera.
Just don't touch
he
her.
He tried. It wasn't super successful though. It worked and it didn't work, but like I expected as much because he needed to get information for the sake of the plot of the episode, but it doesn't work on the weak-minded, and she's not weak-minded, so it didn't totally work. I don't know. I was kind of okay with what they did.
Yeah, because it wasn't like he was trying to force her to do anything, because that probably wouldn't work.
No.
Not completely anyway, but he was just looking at her memories, which was like, invasion of privacy, stop that.
Exactly, which
not cool.
He can do. So.
Yeah. And he called Kanan his real name, he called him Caleb. They tied it.
I was like, as soon as he said that, and then she was like, she had that look on her face. I'm going,
I
knew he was gonna do that.
I started slapping John on the arm. I was like, they did the thing.
They said the thing.
They said the thing.
So, but they've never mentioned that on the show before, right?
Nope.
This is the first time.
Yep.
Because it's only been in the.
I think this is the first time, yes, that they've mentioned it on the show.
Okay. Because it's been in the comics, obviously. If you guys have been reading the Kanan comics,
It's been referenced before.
Yeah, the Kanan comics are amazing. They tell you his whole backstory.
Yeah,
you gotta read them.
They're
so good.
They're great. And yeah, no, they haven't mentioned it on the show, and it's just been a comic thing, and I've been waiting for them to say something, anything, and they did, and I'm happy. And there's still pieces of his past missing, stories not told. And I wonder if they're going to do that in the comics or if they're going to touch on it in the show first.
Maybe how him and Hera met would be an interesting story to tell.
I would love that. Because all this time from the comics, I assumed she didn't know his name was Caleb. Because he had already changed his name, and we didn't see him meet her. So I figured he would have introduced himself as Kanan, and maybe he did. But she knows that he's Caleb. She knows his whole backstory.
She's probably the only one.
Yeah, I would.
I was going to say, out of all the people, I think she knows the most about him. So, I mean, there was something where I read, and I could have been. People are probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to be the fangirl right here.
Go for it.
I think there was people, shippers. I will just say it out loud. But I think there was something alluding to the fact that they might have been intimate once and then something happened. But because of that, she's like the only person who knows his true identity. So
I have a Kanan
and
figure.
I feel like that was either said in the comics or it was just said
Mine's
by
bigger.
somebody else. So. What?
I have a Kanan figure, and I just wish I had a Hera one so I could make them kiss.
Right?
Yeah, I don't.
Mwah!
They never made one of her for Disney Infinity, and I'm mad. But that's not a game anymore, so it doesn't matter.
I know. I was gonna say it's not a thing.
Yeah, not
That
a
was
thing.
another podcast.
Yep, that was a completely different. We did that podcast already.
Oh, did we?
Serious Gentleman Gaming, if you guys want to go check that out. Anyway, we're talking about Rebels. And I know when they were on Malachor, I know Ezra did tell Maul a lot of stuff. Didn't realize he told Maul about the Jedi Holocron until it comes up. And Kanan is like, "You told him?"
What?
And Ezra's like, "I didn't know he was bad at the time." I just thought he was a weird old guy.
I don't remember that at all.
Which he is. And now that they mentioned it, I vaguely remembered it because their whole mission there was to get the Sith Holocron. So Ezra probably did mention it. Yeah. And what I also didn't remember was Maul ruled Mandalore. And he brought it up to Sabine, and Zeb was like, "Did he really rule your planet?" And she's like, don't ask."
She's like, "Unfortunately, yes. For all of 5 seconds." I'm like, yo, you know what? That's like, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Uh-oh. John's got pinwheel.
No, I'm still here. It's cool.
Oh, cool. Good.
Camera's just not.
No, I thought for a second I lost you guys. I was like, oh no.
Okay, no, we're all still here.
I'm good, but I'm gonna be a swirly dot for a while.
Disembodied voice. It's perfectly fine.
Cool.
Yeah, and I completely forgot he was ruling Mandalore for a hot second. Completely forgot he killed Satine. All of that stuff. I forgot. I know. I forgot that was him. Me and John just went over this in pre-show.
That's like Shakespearean levels.
I know. It all comes back around.
Oh my god, he was only too willing to do it. I'm like, oh my god. Then when I watched that part, I just cry. I'm just like, you're such a jerk.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, and the fact that he ruled the planet for a hot second, and that battle between him and Pre Vizsla was pretty good. So, and he beat him fair and square. So, and anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's fine. Technically behind because that was Clone Wars, and that is the past.
Technically behind because that's Clone Wars. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So
getting wrapped up in the past.
Yeah. Maul demands the Sith Holocron, and Kanan's like, "All right, well, I don't have it. You're gonna let me go get it." And Ezra's like, "Where'd you put it?" And he's like, "It's with somebody. Trust me, it's fine.
It's safe."
It's safe."
I loved that.
I know a guy.
I gave it to the spiders.
Well, he gave it to Bendu.
Yeah, and Bendu gave it to the spiders because Bendu's
Oh, that's
an
right.
asshole.
Bendu did give it to the spiders. Bendu's not an asshole. Bendu is true neutral.
No, he's a troll, man. He
is a
what he's
troll,
doing.
that's right.
He was trying to teach them a lesson.
Yes, he was. Yeah. I like that Kanan was trying to be like, "Ezra, it's okay. Don't freak out and they won't attack you." He's like, "But they attacked me before. I tried the mines shit."
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing was, he's like, "Well, I couldn't mind control them." I'm like, "Yeah, and what makes you think you are the be all end all of mind control?"
Well,
you're not.
Well, because he was a savant at it. He was really good.
That title belongs to Korra goddamn Horn. You don't get to take that, Ezra.
That is true.
You don't.
But
he is the king and queen of mind control.
I don't think that Kanan was mind controlling them. I think Kanan was just psychically saying, "We're cool, bro. We're cool." Because Ezra, I guess, before was trying to force a connection. And the spiders didn't like that. They still sensed his fear and all that stuff. So it was about just being like, all right, bro, I'm cool. We're cool? We're cool.
That's his way.
That's his what? Swag?
Right. I mean, no, his way of doing things.
Oh, his way. I thought you said that's his swag.
No, his way of doing
That's
things is to
his
force
swag,
it
you know?
till it works.
Yes.
Like he doesn't really take failure that well.
Honestly, he's like Anakin in that way. Anakin liked to hit things until they worked.
Oh, what? Ezra? Yeah.
Yeah, Ezra's like Anakin in that
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of kick
It
it
scares
till it
me.
works.
Because I see so much Anakin.
Yeah.
I
in him.
know. It is a little scary. But I like I said last
So
week.
dark side.
Yeah, like I said last week, I think he's at a better advantage.
Now I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, I think he's in a better place than Anakin was to get like help
He
and
is.
knowledge, because he's got the
Yeah.
Bendu. He's got a truly neutral. Both him and Kanan have the Bendu to like sort of show them. It's not all about the rules, but it's also not all about control. Like, be somewhere in the middle and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it also is reflected in the fact that his lightsaber is green now, which
Doesn't
we all know
mean
what that
he's
means, right?
going dark side. Because, I mean,
No,
Luke's,
it doesn't.
yeah.
But it means that he's not quite a strict Jedi either.
Which is-
I mean, that was the whole thing with Luke having a green
Yeah.
lightsaber in episode 6, because he really, even when he's, well, I guess we don't know anymore because the EU is gone, but, you know, Luke was not a strict teacher of the Jedi Code. Like, actually in those journals you got me, Chrissy, you know, he goes into saying, like, how he doesn't really like that they, like, want Jedi to abandon emotion and all that stuff. So you can kind of see, like, Ezra's probably at the point where Luke was in episode 6, because he was a very emotional person, and I mean, really, there was no one there to tell him not to be. So,
But there's this disillusionment, though. There's disillusionment.
Right, exactly.
Well, but Luke, I feel like, you know, didn't have anything and worked very hard to get it all back. That ultimately makes him what he is and makes him courageous, because he's working so hard to, you know, make sure the people that he loves stay in his life for whatever that means. Ezra and Anakin have everything to lose, and they make the mistakes because they don't want to lose those people. So it's like the opposite. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's confusing to me that it was always weird to me that Anakin's lightsaber stayed blue. Like in the few times he's had to rebuild it, because some moron seems to lose them real easily.
And break them in half.
Everyone's gonna kill me. Ugh, I can't.
Fuck, God, Anakin, come on, man.
Even throughout Clone Wars, it's blue.
Yeah, and it's
Well,
even
that goddamn thing, which I'm just like, I don't care what anybody says. Sorry, rant right here, but I was just like, that thing's like Excalibur right now, as far as the new trilogy is concerned. I'm like, what the heck? That thing is not that special. The people who built their own freaking lightsabers, that's important. So, quite frankly, I like that Luke has built his own and it's green. Like, I don't really care about this stupid Anakin Skywalker blue lightsaber, but everybody else cares about it. So I'm like, all right.
Well, I think it's also
Goddamn thing went away in Bespin for a reason, but whatever. Anyway, rant over. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, John, I interrupted you.
well, no. I mean, really, it was just like I was just saying how surprised I was that his lightsaber stayed blue, but like Anakin's is already green now. So like, you know, I mean, and if you think about it, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because Qui-Gon's was green.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So like,
So
and
you
Qui-Gon was like the chillest guy there was.
Yeah, and I
But
think that's
he also questioned a lot of what the Jedi's taught, which is okay. And the fact that the thing is that Kanan is having trouble with Ezra questioning things, because Kanan's been questioning so many things about himself. So Kanan can't really handle too many questions right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, just listen. I just need you to chill the fuck down. Just be cool, Ezra.
Well, I think
I
that's
gotta
why
figure myself out.
that's why the Bendu's so important. He's
Right.
helping Kanan find some of those answers. And I think
Well, you sent them in there saying they need to find balance.
Yeah.
And they did. So.
Yeah. And they need to find it without weapons, which is important.
Right.
They need to find that balance and that trust back within one another. And they did, so.
Yeah.
I was like, I got the feels when, like, Ezra hugged Kanan and he's like, oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, cool. And
It's
I was like, oh.
every-
So, yes, I'm like, So in my mind, I'm going, no, he loves you very, very dearly. You need to understand that, and that's gonna ultimately, I feel, in the end, come back to bite them all in the butt. But I was like, oh, I was like, you're his family now, and you have to realize that. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Every time anyone hugs in this show, I get all the feels.
Well, they save it for important moments.
I know. I appreciate
wanted
that.
I'm kind of glad, like, they didn't, like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, they didn't sort of
ham it up.
Stay on the whole, like, Ezra can't forgive himself thing. Like, they just kind of talked about it and resolved it, and that was it. You know, like, they hugged it out. Like, you know, like, they kind of got it over with quickly, which I'm kind of happy about. Like, they didn't kind of dwell on that for too long.
They didn't need to dwell on that, so
I agree. And that was good.
Don't let him brood like Anakin. Not to bring it back to Anakin again, but seriously.
Just let it happen.
Not necessary.
A lot of lessons can be learned by don't do what Anakin did.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, no. And, like, and ultimately, just, it comes down to Kanan's, like, I made these choices myself. Like, I was going to come to do this X, Y, and Z to save you, to save whoever. And I would have done that regardless if it was you or it was anybody else. So, but I love you, and it didn't matter, and that's okay. You weren't the cause of this. So, yeah.
And I don't know, like, you know, for still want to harp on Obi-Wan and Anakin, I don't think Obi-Wan would have done that.
No, because
I don't think Obi-Wan would have said that.
Obi-Wan's not touchy-feely.
He would have done it.
You think Obi-Wan would have done it?
I think he would have, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing, and that's the major pitfall of, like, the prequels, but, like, one of the things that, like, that last scene that was so horribly done, but, like, ultimately told me was that there's so much love there, but, like, they just did a horrible job communicating it.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Burned to death.
No.
But, like, there's so much love between them, and just, like, he couldn't bear it, so I'm like, but that's what kills me about the Clone Wars and then also the prequels, because I'm like, you could have illustrated this beautifully and you did a horrible job.
Well, I also think there was between Anakin and Obi-Wan a lack of communication for important things.
There was.
Things just never came across between them because they were so very different and they were at odds a lot.
But that's what I think is going to save Ezra if anything does.
Yes.
You know, I think that's going to be the difference, because in reading that journal thing, even though it's not really canon anymore, you do realize, like, you know, the Jedi really aren't perfect, and they really do need to be able to have emotional conversations, and not just pretend like nothing's wrong, because that's how you make crazy people. That's how you cause mental illness in general. So just bottle up your emotions, kid. It'll be fine. Just meditate on it for like a week and a half. Your parents are dead. Whatever. We're not dealing with that. Like,
well, no,
you know.
that's a major argument of the Jedi, and they're saying they're so detached, and they're so this and that, and it's like, no, the greatest Jedi that we know emote really very beautifully, and that's kind of like an interesting kind of dynamic, so I'm interested to see what they do about it in episode 8. So again, getting ahead of myself, but because people assume that Luke is so far detached to that point, but I'm like, I don't think so, but we'll see.
Luke.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Thank you, John. I was like, everybody's like, oh, he's gonna be like this. I'm like, no, he's Luke Skywalker, guys. I don't care how. This is what makes him freaking Luke Skywalker. Oh, Jesus. All right, thank you, guys.
And that's why I think the stuff in the book, even though it's not canon anymore, is still accurate, because it's based on the character of Luke, that foundation from the first 3 movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to think back to when he's that freaking idealistic farm boy of just like, I have this need to go and save my friends and do the right thing. You need to remember that. That's him to the T. So even though he has these teachings in his mind, it doesn't matter. That's what makes him him. Now, again, we're going to see different things, but like, I think ultimately if at some point he doesn't come back to himself and knowing that within himself, then I'm going to be like, this is a huge disappointment and a disservice to the character as far as development, because I don't care how many years it is, this is who he is at his core, and that's why people gravitate towards his character. But I digress.
Yes.
Well, Luke kind of maybe came up in this episode, so.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Well,
the Holocrons.
Okay, there's like a couple of things that I had in mind with that specifically. So, but I'm sure we'll get to that. But with but with Kanan and Ezra, it's interesting because I don't know. I just feel like there really is. It's interesting, and I feel like it's gonna fall down a hole, and I don't want it to, and I don't know why it would, but you never know what they're gonna do to throw difficulties at them. But right now, Ezra's still in that honeymoon phase of just believing anything not believing anything, but just being so enthralled and enamored of his master that he will listen to Kanan even when they're at odds. He can come back kind of quickly, and we saw that in this episode. I think what I'm worried about is that he'll start to see Kanan's faults, and Kanan know he has them, but he tries to mask them for the strength of everybody around him, and then that's what Obi-Wan did as well, and trying to take on that burden. And I'm just kind of concerned because I think Ezra will start to see those cracks and be like, why didn't you let me see those cracks? I would have helped you. But he's a kid, kind of thing. So right now I think he's still very enamored of him, and he loves him, and he thinks he's very strong. And so, but I feel like that the cracks are going to start to come through. I'm like, no! So well, you're 15. What do you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's one thing, but like, I kind of like the imagery in this episode, and I guess the last episode, which I'm sure you guys mentioned, but like, this is 2 times in like 2 episodes that Ezra, like, Kanan has literally pulled Ezra back into the light.
Yeah.
Very like vividly, like
very
when like the last episode where the friggin' colony was crashing and the light shining from the ghost, and Kanan pulled him back, and just like in this episode where he kind of pulls him back again. So that like kind of just to piggyback of what you were saying, Sam, like Kanan can still pull him back no matter like how far he gets, and I think that's still important that Ezra like knows that. Mm-hmm. So it almost and if you think of it like a little more, it almost gives Ezra a little bit of permission to go exploring on his own because he knows he has that safe, like, kind of base with Kanan. It's almost like a parent-child, like, real relationship.
Space dad.
But, space dad. So it gives Ezra that kind of safe space to kind of explore his world a little bit, and if that happens to be, like, evil teachings, well, hey, like, Kanan's not going to say no to you. He's not going to reject you. He's going to welcome you back no matter what. So that makes me think that it's all going to be all right.
It's all going to be all right. Listen, all we have to do is have it,
I'm like throwing attachment theory at a children's TV show, and I shouldn't be doing that, but I totally just did.
Why not? They're doing this on purpose, I know
they are.
He's
going dark.
No, you see, everybody says that, and I mean, if it's all just cyclical, then that's I don't want to say dumb, but I feel like that's not original. Like,
no, you know what?
That's why I think Ezra's.
Like, I agree with you, because ultimately that would just be a repeat. But at the same time, I just feel like that. Can we learn from our past mistakes is really the big question. I think they know that as a just structurally as what they're trying to do as a TV show, but then also what they're doing with these characters specifically. They're being very again, I'm now like repeating myself, but they're being very specific about it and what they do. So I mean, right now, again, just like John said, Kanan is still Ezra's whole world, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. But there will come a time where he may not be, and then it's like, can we move beyond that? I don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't think.
But what I like is the moments where Ezra feels weakest and like everybody has abandoned him is when Ezra comes in and saves him. So sorry, Ezra, where he feels the darkest is where Kanan comes in and saves him and becomes that kind of master that he wants him to be. So I just hope that it can keep happening, but like realistically as a human being, you can't keep doing that. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think these showrunners know, like, all these connections between Ezra and Anakin, all like the similar traits that they have. I don't think they would then just plunge him into darkness like they did with Anakin. I think it's going to be different this time. I'm waiting for the Grey Jedi. I'm just waiting for them to roll up and be like, "That's who we are. That's it."
What's up?
What's up?
No. I mean, part of the thing is that also just from a storyteller's point of view, are they trying to correct the mistakes that even George Lucas made? Because his whole point with Anakin was to be like, what if the person that you thought was really the villain was really the victim? But he did a terrible job of retelling that story, and everybody hated it. And he could have done a good job, but he didn't do a good job. And there were good ideas there, but the implementation was terrible. So maybe in a way to correct that, they're thinking, okay, we can try the same thing where the person who you really think you want to be on their side, but they're not, and you can see what they grow to be. Now, I don't want to think that, personally. But here's the other even darker thing, and I feel like they could take it into a nice dark place, but I don't think they're actually going to do that because it's a kid's show, is that, like, ultimately this time period, they've all got it, like, we don't know about them. We don't know about them at all. We can totally kill them all off if we needed to.
That's true.
So, we don't know them at all. If they make a mention, so they did a nice thing in the fact of, like, Rogue One, they're mentioning Saw Gerrera, and that's, so there's that, but, like, these guys, if it's the Rebel Alliance, they should be well in the forefront of the whatever is going on, but I don't know if we're going to hear about them, so.
Yeah, where they go in episode 4, yeah, that's going to be
well, I mean, so we're probably, 2-3 years out from episode 4?
Yeah.
Right now? I'm going to guess each season is a year, and the show started 5 years before, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
And I guess during the scene where they fused the holocrons or whatever the hell that was, and they saw visions of what we assume is, a planet with 2 suns, and, Ezra was looking for a way to destroy the Sith, and Darth Maul was looking for, or just Maul, sorry, he's not a Darth anymore. Maul was looking for hope, like what he said.
To crush,
yes. But both of those things are Luke,
Yes.
The thing that defeats the Sith and hope they're both Luke. So they probably both saw glimpses of Tatooine and Luke. Mm-hmm. So Luke at this point is probably, 15 or so, because him and Leia are 18 in the 4th movie.
Yes.
19, something like that. So
I think he's 20, she's 18.
Well, they're twins,
I think is what George Lucas intended.
Oh, I see. So, see, I always look at her and think she's the older one. Because she's obviously...
Well, they're twins, so it doesn't matter.
No, I know. But she...
Well,
yeah.
no, and that's the ironic thing is, I think he intended Luke to be 20, Leia to be 18, but yes, according to Revenge of the Sith, they're like...
What are plot holes?
Luke is older.
Oops. Anyway, I'm just throwing guesses out there, because I'm just doing the math.
Retcon!
You're welcome, Lucas.
Adding numbers.
So, I think... they could go to Tatooine.
They could. I think they will.
They can't, but here's the thing. They can't touch Luke.
No,
the one thing they can't do, no matter what, is they can see Obi-Wan, but they can never see Luke.
That's what I want. I want them to go to Tatooine and for Obi-Wan to just be like, nope.
Did we just... Well, also, first of all, there's, maybe I'm jumping ahead again, but, there's comics about where bounty hunters are sent after Luke.
Yes.
And Obi-Wan is protecting him, number one. Number two, I distinctly heard, Ezra say twin sons. I was like, whoa.
Well,
what are you talking about, yo?
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we feel pretty confident in what we're seeing here. So I was like, oh my God, what's happening? But I want to talk about what Maul said, but I'm sure we're going to save that to the end. So I'll wait.
No.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah, no, let's talk about what Maul said. Because I'm not... that he's still alive?
He's like, he lives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God. So I took that, so I immediately thought that to mean Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And it made sense given what Ezra would have seen, twin sons, Tatooine, so he would have seen that and the hope for the Alliance, etc. And Luke, and then I was like, that makes sense, because he would have said, okay, he's alive and he's hiding out on Tatooine, but I was like, he lives. I'm like, what if he meant the Emperor or something and he wants to try and reconnect with him? That was just a thought I had the other day, which is probably kind of far-fetched, but I just thought about it, so.
Because he still wants revenge on the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is he already got his revenge on Obi-Wan by killing Satine, and leaving him alive to grieve her, basically. He left him alive on purpose, so...
Yeah.
Yep. So he could sit there and squirm.
Because, really, and he's tried to take down the Emperor himself, but he can't. Maul's not strong enough to beat the Emperor on his own. So, he would need help to do it. So, who's going to help him, though? There's no there's no Jedi who could help him.
Guess who we were talking about the other day, who's probably still alive? Asajj Ventress.
That's true.
Right, Sam?
Oh my god,
She's
I
still
friggin'
alive.
love her. She is my favorite person ever.
Yeah, no, she's great. But if I recall correctly...
I think in the comics, though, she's killed off, and I'm like, what?
Oh, when? Timeline, when?
I don't remember.
Killed her.
And you know what? If they're gonna go by the comics, which I don't know if it, like, you know, again, I don't know enough, but, like, she literally dies in Obi-Wan's arms. I'm going, what the actual...
What? Asajj?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Like, she's murdered by she's killed by somebody else, but she's, like, spitting out whatever she's got to say last to him, I think. And I'm going,
Huh,
that's lame.
That's interesting.
Because they just put her ass into X-Wing, too, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, honestly...
She's the best.
John, when you told me they were putting her... When you told me they were putting her in X-Wing, I was seriously thinking they were going to put her back and they were going to bring her into Rebels.
Oh, I want.
She just happens to fly the Shadowcaster.
Yeah.
Bye, Kanan. He fell down.
Aw, bye, Kanan. Yeah, I honestly think the most clenchy-ist part of this episode was when Maul pushes Kanan out of the airlock. And he, slingshots himself back onto the ship.
He was like, was trying to kill you. He's like, I'll try again. I was like, oh, mother.
Yeah. You bastard.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah. And I really, really loved where Kanan walks in and he can actually, with his eye, well, I guess not with his eyes, but he can see Ezra and Maul sitting there. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, you can see them using it. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
But I also, I like that all of them, I thought it was cute too. Again, it's a simple thing, but they're all like, we have to get Ezra. So they all go in there with Kanan to get him back to make sure. Because they're
Boss
family.
killed Ventress.
Oh, of course Boss killed Ventress.
Yeah. Sorry, just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah.
Mother trucker.
Yeah.
Such a friggin' badass. Who the hell are these? I'm like...
Oh, I've always loved Bosk. He's such an asshole.
No, I like him too.
No, not Bosk. Boss.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Bosk.
Bosk could not take on a Sith. There's no way in hell.
I don't know.
No. Bosk is a friggin' lizard man.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
He's an asshole with a shotgun. He can't take on a Sith.
He is.
Not happening.
But that guy, he's just sitting there. He's the second guy that of all the guys that they assemble up there, you're like, all right, if it's not going to be Boba Fett, it's going to be him that gets Han Solo, so.
Or Dengar, reason.
Okay.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, and when they're done with the holocrons, they explode, fall apart into little pieces.
Well, but that's also what made me instantly think of Obi-Wan too, and I think they meant that, but because ultimately that holocron had that message from Obi-Wan, older. That's how that thing starts out. I was like, ah!
Yeah, so. Yeah. That was an old message too. That was from just after 66 Order 66 happened.
Yeah, that was when he got to Tatooine with the kids, or with Luke.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, my thing is okay, so those holocrons are gone, but where the next one's going to be? Because I feel like that's going to be the plot moving forward is Maul and almost maybe even a race for the holocrons sort of thing, and later in the season, where Maul is actively seeking out more, and then Kanan and Ezra have to try to stop him or slow him down or something like that.
But I feel like Maul got what he wanted out of the holocrons.
Yeah, but he always wants more. You know him.
You're right.
I feel because that's the thing. It's Luke's gonna find some. That's for sure. He's the next one to go looking. So, there are still Jedi Temple around that no one's found yet. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And Sith.
Well, and he went looking with Lor Santeca. We don't know enough about that yet.
Yeah.
Was that I don't know what that is. Is that extended universe stuff? Or is that...
No,
what was that?
that's part of canon. So,
Okay.
but it's like really mentioned in the background. But like Max von Sydow's character, who Kylo Ren just like, in the
Oh.
first
Yeah.
few seconds, like Force Awakens.
Yes.
But he went looking for things with Luke specifically, and they make mention of it offhand.
Right.
In Bloodline, which is a novel which is prior to The Force Awakens, which is mostly focusing on Leia, and it's an awesome book, so read it.
Right. That was Leia's book. Got it.
But that being said, yeah, so him and Luke specifically are looking for artifacts and temples, so we don't know enough yet. That being said, though, Maul's going to come back for Ezra. He
Maul's
keeps
gonna
calling
come back
him
for a
my
lot of
apprentice.
things. Yeah.
So he's going to come back for that. That's what he's going to try and do.
And I'm mad, like, they
For now.
stopped correcting him. Like, Kanan used to be like, he's not your apprentice. Like, they stopped correcting him. And I'm like,
It's
Ezra,
just so, like,
Ezra, no, don't let him keep calling you that.
nip that in the bud, son.
Yeah, seriously. Ugh.
Well, they let it happen because that's going to be a problem down the line. He's going to that's what he's going to try and do. Because he forged that connection with Ezra right off the bat. Even though Ezra I gave him credit because he did try and keep his distance, but ultimately he fell under that influence regardless in the finale. So he's going to continue to try and build upon that and get him to, so now I don't know what events will ultimately make him feel more aligned with Maul, but we'll see. There'll be something. But that'll be one thing right there is like kind of this battle of the apprentice is that Kanan will be trying to bring Ezra to one side and Maul will be trying to bring him to another. So,
But, like, the Sith logic is like, dark side's powerful, Jedi suck. And it's like, a Jedi cut you in half, a Jedi murdered the shit out of a guy who was better than you, Dooku. Like, a Jedi almost killed Darth Sidious.
Your brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Two Jedi
Same one.
almost killed the Emperor. Yoda and Mace Windu almost killed the Emperor. Like, are you sure you're that much better than the other team? Are you sure?
You can
You
make
have
the
robot
argument
legs,
that
sir.
Jedi indirectly killed your Emperor. Indirectly. Luke, by surrendering, did so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so names himself a Jedi. Now, it is Vader that kills him, but it
Yeah.
Right, but I'm not
his
even-
father back on the dark side in doing so. But he says, I'll never turn to the dark side. I'm a Jedi.
Right.
The end.
But my thing is like, I'm just going through shit that happened already for like in Ezra's history.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Like, the score's not that great in your favor, fellas.
No.
Well, to be fair, they
Kanan
did kill
destroyed the-
almost every Jedi.
Yeah, well,
What was I gonna
Kanan
say?
also annihilated 2 Inquisitors on his own. Because he killed the Grand Inquisitor. Oh no, did Ahsoka kill the other 2?
No. That was like halvesies because Maul killed one.
Maul
Yeah.
killed one.
Maul killed one, and then
One
there's the
helicoptered away.
And
the
then
helicopter guy, which Maul
Kanan said
kind
no.
of inadvertently killed, and the big guy I don't remember. That might have been like I think Ahsoka and Maul together.
Yeah,
Actually,
that
they were
might-
kind of playing for the same team for a second. But yes, the Grand Inquisitor Kanan killed him. So
Kanan savaged
Kanan
that.
and Ezra.
He didn't just
That was
kill
my
him. He
favorite
just, like,
fight.
Eat a dick.
That's
you
a good
was-
one.
Mm-hmm.
But
That
you
was
know,
really good.
Ezra's like, I want power. It's like, dude, look at Kanan. Like, look at
He
what
made
he's
the
done.
mistake. He made that mistake, that same mistake, and this is what made me scared that Anakin made all that time ago. But he made the same mistakes. He's like, I want to be powerful enough to protect my friends,
Yeah.
or whatever he said, something to that extent. He's like, I don't want anything to happen to them. I'm like, oh no, we've been down this path before.
And like the mature, because I mean, like that's the thing is like the Sith are very immature, and like the mature person says, I can't stop everything bad that's going to happen to people. You know, we as human beings.
Well, that's
accept that.
ultimately, it's that mentality that gets Kanan knighted when he's
Right.
in that kind of dream sequences. You know, he's like, you know what? This is all I can do. This is what I can control, but I can't control ultimately the fate of my apprentice. And then he's like, all right, you rise now. You are a knight, a
Good
Jedi
job.
knight. So
So,
Yeah.
brought it right back around,
Right back around.
I guess.
So next episode is the Antilles extraction. Am I saying that right? Yeah, okay.
Wedge Antilles!
Yep, we'll introduce Wedge
My man.
Antilles, the legendary X-Wing pilot, who in Star Wars Rebels is just a young Imperial pilot ready to defect from the Empire. Blah, blah, blah.
Sabine's getting them out.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
like
she's
it.
the perfect one to do it. John, where can the people find
I love
you?
that she loves explosives. Can I just say that?
Oh, yes.
She loves to blow stuff up.
Yes.
I love it.
So I'm just before I'm really hoping they bring TIE interceptors into the show
Ooh,
soon,
yeah.
so they can escape on those,
Yes.
and then Sabine can paint it
Yes.
and make it pretty. Anyway,
And
And they can
find
put
me
another ship
waiting-
in X-Wing.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that thing. Anyway, you can find me at no more on Twitter, waiting for that ship.
Sam, where can they find you?
Oh, I'm at Like Leia, which you can see up there, but it's Lyke Leia, like our favorite Princess Leia or General Leia, whatever you prefer.
And,
On Twitter and Instagram.
nice. And you can find me at Cleo Moto, and you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts with some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Until next time, bye guys.
Now, Wedge just has to wait 10 more years till they get a goddamn X-Wing to him, but hey, you know.
Right? Wait, what? I forgot what Wedge's number is, too. When they all assemble. I only remember Luke.
I don't know.
You know, I was at work the other day and we have these radios and my friend went, Roger, Roger, and I was like, Red 5 standing by.